No, it was weird. So I'm upstairs in this far corner of the house, and it fucking blew a circuit breaker and melted the microwave on the other end of the house.
Nope. I'm just gonna put my foot on the floor and I'm not lifting till I see God or a checkered flag.
Racing with Class podcast, Aaron, Andy, and special guest Glenn. What's up, Bubba? How are you?
Oh man, how are you guys?
Fantastic, Glenn. I hope I'm not gonna botch it. Reen, right? That's
Man.
I made that way harder than it had to be.
It's like the color green with no G.
Yeah. So big things are happening with KLAS Motorsports. Andy, we've kind of, we've been doing some fill-in episodes. You've kind of been all over the place, traveling like crazy, but like what's been going on with KLAS Motorsports before we get to know Glenn?
So we are in a little bit of we raced really hard there for, I don't know, about 2 months between Rockingham and then Michigan, where we were going every other week there. So we basically did half of our season inside of a 2-month span, month and a half span there. So it was quite a grind. And, I think everyone was looking for a little bit of a breather there. And now we're chomping at the bit to get back at this deal. And in the middle of the break, we started working with Mr. Glenn Reen over here. He's taken on the challenge of going to Lime Rock Speedway and kind of doing things probably, I'd say, in a similar way to how I made my jump into the ARCA series with, trying to buy a car and kind of doing like the owner driver kind of thing. And Glenn was working with Ted Marsh. He bought a car from Ted Marsh, and Ted Marsh has been a big supporter of me. And he's actually where we got our road course car from. So there's a lot of connections and a lot of things made sense to kind of team up. And, Andy and Glenn and Kevin all came up with a situation that was going to work out good for Glenn and work out good for us. And, I think,
And then I let everyone down.
oh, don't worry, buddy. I do it all the time. It's no big deal. It happens.
It's just a bunch of modified degenerates, right? That's what we are. That's why we all get along so well.
Yeah, no, I've always said that about the KLAS Motorsports thing. It's some sort of hybrid of, short track Saturday night racers and professional NASCAR racers all kind of mixed into one. And we kind of fall in the middle there somewhere. And Glenn's certainly a good fit for that, but, I think everyone on the team brings a certain passion for racing. And I think we all kind of do it for, the reason of just simply because we love racing and we want to be successful. And I think Glenn really fits well into that mold that's kind of crafted, probably kind of started with me, Andy, and Mike and all the Buffalo guys and, just blue collar Saturday night racers trying to get to this next level. And I think Glenn, fits in perfectly with that. So hopefully it's been a good situation for Glenn. I feel like, working with Mike and Andy, hopefully, I know you had some bad luck over there at Lime Rock, but I hopefully brought a better car to the track working with us. And now me, not having a road course background and being able to kind of work with Glenn a little bit. And, even having his car now too, being able to kind of drive both of them, we're kind of starting to, it's funny actually, because they both came from Ted Marsh. And when we got it, we updated all the spindles to all the latest and greatest technology. And Glenn's car still had kind of the older technology in it. And I drove a both and I went, well, Glenn's car actually turns better. So now I was fishing out the old spindles that we took out of the car 5 years ago out of my storage trailer up here in Buffalo. I put them in a box, wrapped it up in about a roll of duct tape. And Andy said it showed up with, half a spindle hanging out the side of the box because spindles don't ship too good. But the spindles that came out of the car 5 years ago are now down there going back in the car. So I guess it's just funny how things like that work,
It's just like modifieds, right? Like
it's exactly. I was just gonna say, yeah, the torque,
and then they go to a third link, and then they go right back to a torque arm,
round and around and around and around. Yep.
Yeah.
One guy that was gonna win anyway, put something new in the car, and everyone thinks they gotta have it. And Matt Hirschman's gonna win with a torque arm or a 3-link. It don't really matter, but we're all gonna
20
copy
years
him.
from now, some guy's gonna be like, "Hear me out. I'm gonna put a pair of 5s in the front, and a pair of 2s in the back." You're gonna be like, "Huh? Where have I heard that before?"
Yeah, that's exactly it. I think just kind of goes to show you that it's just, I think it ends up being just the people working on the cars and getting everything else right. Um, but I definitely like the way Glenn's car drove. I was able to drive it a little bit. I appreciate Glenn letting us do that. And,
I'm happy to help, man.
we learned quite a bit on that day. So that was cool.
All right, well, let's get to know Glenn. First of all, I didn't introduce myself before because I just thought this would be fun to put in the show. Glenn, I am not a race car driver. I don't know if that's like shocking to you at all. I don't know if I look like I could drive a car.
I feel like I thought you actually drove. Yeah.
No,
No.
absolutely not.
Yeah.
I'm just a podcast guy that really likes stock car racing. So that's what I am. So everyone now knows who I am. But Glenn, how long have you been racing? What got you into it? Where did all the passion to go really fast, as I tell Andy all the time, on strap your butt to a rocket and go around a track? Where did all that start?
So mine's kind of unique. My mom and dad both raced. That's what they met at a racetrack. My dad did a lot of Formula cars. He made it all the way up to IndyCar. And then I was born in '85 and he stopped. And then 4 years later, we started at Little Thompson and quarter midgets, and I've been racing ever since. So I got 30, Jesus Christ, I'm 40 years old now. I got 36 years of racing behind me, which is insane. But a lot like Andy, like we don't have a ton of money. It was great to have parents that race that, when you say, I want to go to the next level, they're like, all right, we're going to mortgage the house. We're going to, motorhome payments are in, we're going to go get a new car. We're going to get a trailer. We're going to, we don't have a ton of money. You just make what you have. And that's where, people think I'm loaded having this ARCA car. It's like, dude, I dusted this thing off just like Andy did, and made it into something that it is now. I mean, with with scratching and clawing and using old parts, and as you could see from Lime Rock, like it showed. We had a broken axle because I didn't have money to buy axles, and it sounds stupid, but once you've sucked everything out that you got, there's no extra money. Like axles are only $500 for a pair of them, but that was the end. Like at some point, the ocean has a bottom. So I was very grateful to have, some awesome parents like that both raced. My mom just did a lot of SCCA stuff, so never really got into like door to door, more of the time attack stuff. But my dad had a really short run in '85 in a modified. And then I was born, and that was pretty much it. So I really want to put him in a car, and he's given everything to me. So like I have a Miata now that we go play with, and yeah, we got to get Andy J in it. We'll just go road race it. But I mean, it's like 14 hours. You do an endurance race, and you put 5 people in it, and it's so much fun. It really shouldn't be as much fun as it is, but it is. It's like unreal. But now I'm gonna try to get my dad in it. I think he'd have a lot of fun. He's probably gonna surprise me how well he is still.
What year? You born in '85. What month?
June.
Okay, so you just turned 40.
Yeah, June 9th. Yeah.
I turned 40 in November. Andy, where you just got 2 old guys on the show with you.
Yeah.
I'm just a spring chicken over here.
One of my good friends, Eric Curran, I'm sure you've heard of him. He told me 40 was the best years of his life, so I'm embracing 40. 30 hit me like a ton of bricks, and I did not want to be 30, and I'll tell you what, like 30 was the best years of my life, so I'm just embracing 40, and we're gonna run with it.
All right, so we get a little nostalgic on this show. In fact, we came up with a name for it. I think my wife actually came up with it, which was Aaron and Andy's Nostalgia Corner, because every show we get on some sort of nostalgia. So
Hey, not to get sidetracked. Did you see who commented in the comments on the last show?
did you
Mark
see?
Martin.
I know.
Mark Martin. We had
So
one
funny-
comment.
Funny
Wait,
story,
one
Mark
comment.
Martin. We back in the day, if you remember Sean Case, we used to, my buddy Jesse and I went to Andy Santerre's shop back when
Mhm.
Twist used to be down in Charlotte, Mike Twist.
Mhm.
And Mark Martin's ASA car was there, and we may or may not have had a few drinks, and it was after hours, and we decided to fill the thing up with water and rip it down the street and do a couple burnouts. And it's on video somewhere on an old ass phone, but I actually drove Mark Martin's ASA car. It was pretty badass. I could
That's
barely
awesome.
fit, like my knees were over the steering wheel. It was hard to drive the thing, but it was awesome.
So
Oh, yeah.
who was your hero, your racing hero growing up?
So growing up, it was tough. Like growing up, Jeff Gordon was like one of my big heroes in the big circuit. And then obviously in like the local scene would be like Teddy Christopher and Dan Avery. Obviously my dad was one of my big heroes. But yeah, I mean, that's as it progressed into my career, Carl Edwards became a really good friend. So I would say Carl was probably one of my biggest mentors and heroes as well, and still is to this day. He helps me a lot.
Uh, as far as Cup Series go, who do you watch right now that kind of impresses you?
Larson. Okay, like he's just insane.
So it's
The
weird.
kid is he's amazing.
I mean,
If I
what
could learn half of what he's forgotten, I'd be all set.
I think Andy and I were talking about it. It was a couple of shows ago, and I just asked the question. I said, "Do you think he ever gets frustrated?" And Andy's like, "Yeah, he's either going to win
Yeah.
or he's going to wreck trying because
Checkers or
he could
records.
have the fifth best car that day, and he believes, and he's probably right,
Yeah,
that he can make the right moves and win that race."
absolutely. Kid's
Uh,
Oh
insane, man.
yeah, I mean, you see it all the time with him. He'll be charging and he'll loop the thing on his own. He did it at we were watching the Coke 600. It was there in person. He did it. Just
Yeah.
he's
I
got to be on the ragged edge every lap of his life. I don't know if he knows any other way.
But I also feel
But
like
yeah,
that's
but there's
how
days where he's gonna win the race with a car that every other guy in the field would finish fifth with. There's also
correct.
days that he's gonna take a fifth place car and shove it in the fence.
Right.
So
Right.
it's you live
But I
by the
also
sword,
think
you die by the sword.
that's NASCAR, right? Like there is no benefit. And this is what I hate nowadays. Like Andy, you get it from still being local. Like championships are won by seconds, thirds, fifths, right? So like
Oh
in
yeah,
in, in our stuff, people are like, "Hey, we had a great run." They have a smile on their face, like great run, finishing second. These guys, they're like, "Yeah, I finished second. Like it was BS." Like no one wants to see that. So like, yeah, he is. It's checkers or records because second to him doesn't mean a damn thing.
when we get nostalgic on this show a lot, and that is always a topic that comes up because like back in the day, like '90s NASCAR, like you
Was the
you
best.
turned into the road courses because okay, Dale Jarrett's leading the points and he ain't a road course racer, so you'd
Who's
watch him like
coming?
truck it, like no,
Yeah.
you'd watch him like struggle to a 13th, and it was like
Right. Who's
admirable.
now the leader? Yeah.
Right, yeah, like, I
Yep.
mean, if
I
Dale
know.
Jarrett could run top 15 at a road course, you think, "Oh, wow," that there was the race inside the race,
Yep.
And it was still
Yep.
nothing cooler than, like Jeff Gordon's lead the points, and he gets dumped at Richmond, and we're all,
Right.
sitting at the racetrack, 'cause it's Saturday night, and it's like, oh, we're on the pass, like, Gordon got wrecked. Oh, is he gonna get back
Yeah.
out? And he comes back out with half a race car. I mean, there's just so
Yep.
much drama that was lost in what
Yep.
they did. I mean, it's
Buddy.
exciting. It's obviously it's more exciting towards the end with all the the eliminations and all that. But
But that's not a
the first
championship.
26, right? It's
yes.
not.
Like that's
It's a
to me, like if
tournament.
you're a football fan, right? And you're like, all right, the Patriots won a game, you're automatically in the Super Bowl. Like, no, that's not how that works. Or you're automatically in the playoffs. No, you have to win your way all the way in.
No, it's a tournament now. And
Yeah.
Well, I will.
it never made sense to me. Every once in a while the right guy wins, but
Yeah.
every once in a while that it gets mixed up. Like last year, like
Yeah.
Joey Logano was not the best car
Sure.
last year by
Nope.
any means. So then when it happens, everyone's pissed. It's like,
Right.
okay, so like what did you want then? Because if the best car just wins the championship every year, you could have just left it alone. But then it's like, oh well, that guy shouldn't have won the championship. Well, yeah, that's the drama that you wanted, right? Like,
Right.
but you know,
Well, and and Andy and I have talked about it. We did like 2 straight episodes. Carson Hocevar is trying to bring some of that old school back.
He
It's
is.
just, it's I think when a guy, because Kyle Busch, I think, has done that for a long time, and he's just kind of embraced the like I'm an a-hole and get
Yeah.
out of my way type deal. He's also, Andy and I have agreed, one of the most talented guys to ever get
Oh,
behind the wheel
absolutely.
of a car.
Yep.
So that he gets frustrated and whatever. But Carson, I'm always shocked because I'll see almost the same things on social media. The accounts are like, I miss old school NASCAR, blah, blah, blah. And then like Carson does something and they're like, this kid. And I'm like, hey, you can't have it both ways.
Right. You literally just told us you wanted that, and now you're not.
yeah.
I hear you.
Okay. So obviously you're both from family racing backgrounds. I am not. I think we went to the dirt track twice when I was a kid. We don't even have.
That
We had
counts.
Well, yeah, we had a good historic dirt track at our state fairgrounds, and then they ripped it out or whatever. But you guys grew up going to the track all the time. As kids going to the track, Like, what is the most fun of going? Is it the whole day, like, you know, the lead up, knowing, hey, we're going to the track tonight? Is it the race itself? Is it hanging out with your buddies and like sitting next to the fence and, you know, eating a popsicle? Like, what is it like being able to know, like, we're going to the track every weekend growing up? Because again, I didn't do that. And I always am jealous now hearing of that. Like, man, that'd have been a cool childhood, man. That'd been fun.
It You want me to go first, Andy? You want to take it?
Yeah, you go for it.
So it was really like us, especially, and I think Andy would know Riverside Park. You've heard of that, or you been there, Andy, or no?
I never made it. My dad raced there. I know about it.
Yeah. So we had probably the coolest racetrack in New England, or maybe even in the country. I don't know, but like it was an amusement park, right? So like when my dad would race, or when we would go, it was like you got dropped off at noontime, right? And your dad or your parents went to work on the race cars or to race. And we just ran around the park all day until 5 o'clock when the races started. You know what I mean? And then, like, you're in the stand, like, you knew because all of a sudden you hear race cars. So, like, you get off the rides, you get off the roller coasters, you run over, and then you sit in the stands and you watch all the races. I mean, it was literally the perfect childhood. And then obviously, like, when we were racing, it was Little Thompson, which was also really cool because you're right next to the big track. And, you know, it was a club, so, like, everyone got a key. So you could come test Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then go race Saturday. There was no money, like, you literally were handed a key, and depending on how much you wanted to, you know, spend in tires and motors, you could run all day, every day, they don't care.
That's wild.
It was really cool.
If some Hollywood producer watches this sounds like you could do The Sandlot, but like a
Oh,
local dirt track version with
yes,
kids, and that
yeah.
would be exactly like what it would be like.
Oh, man, we'd have to get, Smalls back, and
Oh, 100%, 100%. Andy, favorite thing about going to the track as a kid?
Man, you just it's all I thought about all week, you know, and I would go, you know, first you know, my mom was dating race car driver Tom McGrath, and my uncle worked on Carl Ayers cars, so I had two really strong connections to Lancaster and modified racing, and I would hitchhike my way there with whoever would take me. I want to be there for all the practices. Um, I used to have a bag of wristbands, and I would be like 12, 13, and I was never allowed in the pits, and I duct tape this wristband on, and yeah, I was slick. They called me Houdini. They called me Houdini. It's funny actually. So we were I was everywhere because I was just too young to get in. I used to go to Ransomville on Friday. And actually, I'll tell you a funny story. The Friesens owned the track at that time. You know, Stewart's dad, Stewart's uncle, and Stewart's grandpa. And I was too young to get in, so I was sneaking in, and one of them caught me, and they're good friends with my dad. And actually, the track caught me. They brought me to security, and like they're like, gonna call the cops or something. And it was either Jamie or Joel, which is either Stewart's dad or Stewart's uncle. I can't remember who. I kind of think it was. I think it was Stewart's uncle, but he came over and he's like, "Oh, Jankowiak kid, I'll take care of it." So he grabs me, takes me. He puts a VIP armband on me, puts me in the VIP tower, says, "Don't do it again." I'm like, "Okay, okay, I get it." But that was my whole childhood. Was
that's
just
awesome.
anyone I get hooked up with, I wanted to go to the races. Even like working with like Ricky Cluth, and if they were going south, I went to South Boston with them at like age 14, sneaking at all these racetracks. They used to hide me under the couch in the back of the toter home, just whatever I could do to get in the track. But that was, you know, my mom would drive me to whoever was willing to take me to the race, and they'd meet somewhere at a park and ride, and I'd jump in the rig, and I'd be gone all weekend and come back. That's all I wanted to do when I was little. I just kind of grew up just completely immersed with it, and you know, reading all the old scrapbooks of my dad and my uncle, and I just fell in love with it at a young age. And you know, certainly, you know, Lancaster on Saturday nights was home. All my friends were there. They had a little go-kart track out in the parking lot. So, you know, you get 20 bucks for the day from mom, and, you know, go ride the go-karts as many times as we could, get a slice of pizza, and then go up and root for Tom and Carl in the modifieds. But I had a stopwatch. I had everything. So I was there all day, camped out.
All right, let's switch into racing now. Glenn, when I went to Charlotte to watch Andy for the first time as a former athlete, I watched it differently maybe than a typical fan. And one of the things I was interested in is I wanted to be able to see if I could recognize from a body language perspective when he got into the zone.
Mhm.
Like I've heard other race car drivers talk about like, hey, there's a certain point where you can almost like see this, like, hey, they're locked in now. Like it's almost like you're talking to Andy and he's there, but he's not really there. Like he's thinking about like, what the next thing is. And I love that he can multitask. He's like shaking hands, taking pictures of people. And I could tell by the look on his face, he's like, I am ready to get in this race car. So for you, at what point during the day do you start to really like the adrenaline starts to pump and you start to get into that zone of like, we're getting ready to go racing?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, I think every racer has it at some point. So, like, for me, I try to be, I used to stress myself out a ton, like trying to worry about everything. And then Carl in 2017 had the most amazing words. And he's like, dude, there's a million and one things that are going to take you out of a race or a win or a championship. You can't control anything in those million and one things. All you can control is you know, how you react and everything you were supposed to do before you got there. So the car's nuts and bolts, the tires are done, car's, set up, that's it. You can't control anything else. So stop worrying about, the other million and one things that could happen and just focus on enjoying it. Because the biggest thing he was explaining to me was when it stops being fun, you have, and I got to the point where I stressed myself out trying to win so bad that it actually I regretted going, like I hated going to the racetrack. It was no longer fun. And until I took his words and actually lived them, it then became fun again. So, like, I try to only, like, okay, 20 minutes before we're getting in the car, game plan, head in the game, and I turn into a different human, um, in the zone. And then obviously once helmet's on and you're in the car, it's on.
Andy, how long did you, and you may not have ever, I maybe asked the question, how long did you have to be racing before, like, do you hit a Zen state in a car? Or are you nerves the entire time?
No, I'm like big. Like I'm a completely different person in the car. More so when I was younger, kind of like Glenn was saying, like it got to it would get to a point, and it still does. Like like when I was indoor racing, and we had there was years where I went to Atlantic City with the best car and figured out how to lose this thing, like the big race thing, the Amherst Classic every year. And it was so stressful. Like when I finally won it, I just broke down and started crying. Like I was just so relieved that it was just over, because you get to that point where it's like you just agonize over it. So obviously you see me on Facebook. I try to have fun with it, but I definitely get into a zone. I definitely notice it like in victory lane after like a big win. Like I'm like out of the car for like a minute. I'm getting swarmed by people, and like there's like this thing inside me where I'm not ready. Like I'm not in your world yet. I'm kind of like like getting used to everything again. Like I'm not in your world.
That is a
But
perfect
probably
way to put it. That you're not in the world. That's 100% accurate.
it is. Like like people come up and they're all excited. I'm just like I'm still like zoning back in, like I just woke up from a weird dream. Like, whoa, what's going on? But probably the best example of it, like the night after the quote at Daytona, like obviously we ended up crashing and all that, but I remembered it and I seen it pop up on the internet, and all day I was like, man, I gotta sound like such an idiot. Like, what the hell was I thinking? Like, why did I say that? I gotta sound so stupid. And like it started popping up on Facebook and I was deleting it. I'm like, no, I gotta make this go away. I sound like an idiot when I said I'm not lifting until I see God or the checkered flag. And I think like the reason that quote became so popular is because we're about a lap away from the restart, and I'm restarting fourth, and it's Daytona. I know I've got a fast car, and like I'm like thinking about like my entire life from this point on. Like if I get across this finish line first, everything about my life is different. Everything. Like I am so locked in, and like we're talking about strategies, and I'm saying, well, if I do this, I do this. And TJ's like, no, don't go three wide. And we were coming up with all this plan. And all of a sudden it's, hi, Phil Parsons up in the Fox booth. And I was so locked into what I was doing right there. Like, Phil's like, well, what's the plan? I'm like, I'm not lifting until I see God or the checkered flag. And like in that mind space that I was in at that moment, I meant it.
It
And
was 100% accurate.
yeah, 10 minutes after the race, like, oh God, I don't want to die trying to win an ARCA race. That's completely
Right.
stupid. But in that moment, and I think
Absolutely.
that's why it's so popular, because I think you can hear it in my voice, like the headspace I'm in that moment.
Yep.
Like, yeah, like I will put my foot down and I will
Right.
go and I will do whatever it takes to win this race. And I think
Right.
that's why that quote kind of became popular. But that's probably a really good example
Yeah.
of like the headspace that you get into, because, you know, you got to talk to me while it was going on. Like normally I'm in my own little brain and I don't talk about it, right? But you know, for that one moment, it just so happened the biggest moment, of most pressure packed moment of my life. You know, someone put a microphone in front of my face and it happened. So that's probably a really good example of kind of the mindset you're in when you're racing versus the mindset you're in as a, you know, normal person.
And it's funny because, like, as a driver, when I was watching that, and I'm just laughing because I'm like, 100% get it. So, like, a driver watching that, you're like, yeah, yeah, that checks out. And then someone like yourself, you know, Aaron, you probably understand it, but you'll never fully get it. Like a driver's like, oh yeah, yeah, 100%.
No, and every time I show that to somebody, they go, "What's your favorite part?" I go, "It's not even Andy." I go, "It's whoever comes on the radio right after and goes, 'My man.'" And I'm like, whoever was that, which we've never figured out exactly who it probably was, but whoever it was, it has to have been the driver up there, because the fact he said, "My man," is
Yeah.
like, he's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah."
They
Yeah,
said
he
it was either Cindric, because there's two guys, obviously a guy. It's either Cindric or Phil Parsons, and they're
Yeah.
both
Probably
drivers.
Cindric. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Phil the driver, Phil won Talladega, but
Yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
I they said it was Cindric, but it's hard to tell. It's
That's
funny though
hilarious.
when they stole it for the Chastain video, right?
Mhm.
Like, so they steal this clip for the Chastain and they applied it over the wall ride at
Yeah,
Martinsville.
yeah, yeah.
And it's like Chastain's like, I'm not lifted till I see God or the checker flag right before he's about to hit the wall. And it sounds like the crew chief's coming back. He's like, my man. You know, I like the timing is so perfect. I love it.
I think it's so funny because, again, you know, Charlotte was the first time, and it's happened to me. My wife and I have covered the professional bull riders of PBR for 3 years,
Mhm.
and the more that I've gotten to know the guys that ride the bulls, the less I enjoy it, and I want that to make sense. Like, I don't get to just sit there and
Correct.
enjoy it. I'm sweating from every orifice. I'm
Dressing with them.
stressed out.
Yeah.
I'm worried.
Yeah.
So as we're going to Charlotte, the closer we got, I kept thinking, one of my good buddies is gonna get strapped in a race car and go around so
Right.
he's getting ready to get in a car. They're like, you know, shooting everybody away, and the guy I'm with is standing over there. So I just reach over and I give Andy a big hug. I go, "I love you." And he goes, "Okay." And as we're walking
I
away,
said I love you back.
Jake goes Jake goes, "Dude, do you look like you're about to cry?" I go, "I am so nervous right now. I cannot stand it." I'm like, "That is my friend. That is my good buddy that is in this car." And all I kept the whole race, I want him to win so bad, but all I kept thinking was, "Dear God, please, for the love of Pete, don't
Yeah.
let him crash. Even if he's fine, I won't be able
Right.
to make it. I'll have a heart
Right.
attack right here on pit road. There's no way that I can do it." So I don't know how y'all do it.
It
Like,
was it was really funny you mentioned that because this past race at Lime Rock was the first race that my girlfriend and her 2 girls got to come, and my girlfriend's gone to a lot of them, but her kids had not. So they were like, one of them made a sign, they made it on TV, they made it on ARCA's website. They were like, it was really, really cool. They were all excited. But, you know, we're walking and then, you know, they don't it's like you, they don't understand, right? So they're like, "Well, what if you crash?" I'm like, "Well, it could happen." And they're like, "Well, I don't want that to happen." I'm like, "Well, neither do I." But like, it's part of the game, you know? "What's that helicopter for?" I'm like, "Well, it's LifeStar in case, you know, if someone gets in an accident, it's bad enough you need." "Well, I don't want it here." I'm like, "Well, I kinda want it here." I don't wanna take a ride in it, but I want it here in case, you know, it's kinda like the umbrella theory, right? You're like, you bring an umbrella so it won't rain. Like, you put the damn helicopter there so we don't need it.
yeah, and Andy did say he loved me back, but I felt so silly walking away because I thought, I know he's stressed out. There's no chance I can imagine him being more stressed out than I am right now. And the
Yeah.
guys I was with just kept going, "He's gonna be fine, man. He's gonna be all right." I go, "Wow."
Never about that.
Like,
Every time I clip the wheel on, I am invincible. Nothing, and
Yeah.
I'm invincible. That's the mindset. It doesn't matter.
It's really weird to me, like, when I started racing, I started way young, but, like, as you get into the big cars and stuff, like my SK Lights in '06, like, I would be nervous. Like, before a race, I'd be freaking out, and then, like, even all the way up into, like, '07, '08, my first year in a tour, you're like, "Oh my god," like, I'm racing with Teddy and Mike Stefanik and Reggie, and, like, you're like, "Oh my," like, freaking out, like, "What if I do this, or what if I," and then now, like, I literally just jumped in. I'd never even seen Dover in my life or Nashville. Jump in an Xfinity car, you get 20 minutes to figure the track out and 1 lap of qualifying. Oh, by the way, you're first. And, like, I was just like, "Yep, sounds cool, man. Let's do it." Like, it's funny how it has evolved. I'm sure Andy can attest to that. Like, it's after a while, it's the it's different, but it's the same. You've done this a million times. It's just a different scenario, or it's a different backdrop, or it's a different seat in a car, right? It's still the same thing. It's just, but for me, somehow I've been able to, and I'm sure it's from a lot of help from Carl, but like, yeah, sounds good. Like, we'll just fire it off into one and it should be good. Like, it is wild.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I definitely get a little bit calmer about it. Like even I raced Wing Super Modified for the first time this year, and didn't even know how to start the thing. And they're like, okay, they're gonna push you, and then you got to stick this rod here and pull this back and choke this, and then it'll go, and then just hit the gas, and like, all right, fine, just push it. Like let me figure this out. You
Right.
kind of, but like you say, like so with the modifieds, we used to have this what's called like a 2 barrel challenge. So there was a point with the ROC we were really getting like 16 modifieds. So they came up with this idea to let the SK modifieds race with them. And I had like an SK. We call them sportsman cars out here, but they're like SK engines. And they let 5 of them in the race, and you'd have your own little race with those guys. And so yeah, I'll do that. So I bring my sportsman car out, and I go to line up, and it's like I see the back panels of Matt Hirschman and Chuck Hosfeld. It's just like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm on the track with these guys. Like, this is insane. But probably just doing it week to week, and now even like getting up into like ARCA kind of, I didn't do that till I was 31, 32, and it was awe inspiring, but like probably nothing more than like that first time I pulled up in the lineup shoot at Holland, and looking at the back of Chuck Hosfeld and Matt Hirschman's car, just going like, I can't believe I'm on the track with these two guys right now. You know what I mean? Just craziness.
And I feel
But
like we got spoiled, right? Like, I'm not taking anything away from ARCA or Xfinity or any of that stuff, but I don't feel like any of these lineups in these big series now are nearly as competitive as the people we've run against in the ROC, the Tour, open races, or like, you got guys in up here, like 7-time champ Mike Stefanik, Teddy Christopher, Chuck Hosfeld. You got guys like Matt Hirschman, Tony Hirschman, like, there's huge hitters up here with us. Reggie Ruggiero, like, unbelievable talent, and we're in there like, yeah, we race with them every week. Why? You know what I mean? Where it's just, it's a whole different world up here, I think.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
even that's why like I probably fell in love with the indoor midget stuff so much so quick, because it was a way for me to, affordably go race with like Ted Christopher and
Yeah.
all these guys that were jumping around doing this stuff back then. Even
Yeah.
Stefanik was in I think he was a little bit before I got there, but
Yeah, Jimmy Blewett.
like, yeah, Blewett, Priest. I mean, all these
Yeah.
guys, even he's actually younger than me, but Eric Rudolph got started so young. I mean,
Yeah.
he was a badass.
Yeah.
Just racing with all these guys. It was a way for me to competitively race with these guys with the dollars that I had. And it was just cool,
Correct.
like I won my first indoor race the same day as Ryan Priest, so
Yep.
it was just cool for me just to be out there with these guys.
I think that's the thing people don't understand what makes the sport different is, because the typical, I'd say, just casual fan that watches like the Daytona 500 and the Indianapolis 500, and that's, about all they watch. I mean, it happened down here, a track that we've got, the I-40.
I-40 Speedway.
Yeah, Larson showed up, and you're like, what other sport could a local guy from Oklahoma City go line up his car and like Kyle Larson is going to be there is no other sport that is even possible to happen.
Right, and he'll run. He might run third.
Yeah.
I went to Stafford, a couple weeks ago, and Ryan Preece is there, and I mean he was one of the fastest cars there, but he didn't win.
Stafford
It's
is a cool place. Like, remember when they did the SRX thing and they had all these Cup drivers
Mhm.
there, and then you got a guy like Doug Coby just crushes. I mean, just kills it.
Yeah.
So it is cool where like you said, like Kyle Larson may not even win because the locals know that
Right.
track better than he does. So
Yeah,
it,
like we
it's
run on
really
the
cool.
smart modified tour, and you got Bobby Labonte and Ryan Newman, and
Yeah.
they win, but they're not a shoe in.
Right.
I went down there and won a race, and Burt Myers, the Southern modified heroes, they're gonna win their races, and
Yeah.
it just kind of goes to show you. I mean, there's so many good drivers all across the United States, that are capable of racing at an extremely high level, like a Cup Series or Xfinity Series or Truck Series or an ARCA Series. And just for one
That's it,
reason or
man.
another, they're not gonna. Well, it's everything. I mean,
The
there's
biggest
so
thing I've
many.
learned, and I'm sure Andy can attest to this, and I'm not to interrupt, but the difference between those guys that we used to watch on TV, that thankfully we now are in some of those spots, but like I would sit there and go, man, that guy must be so much better than me. The difference is literally this much from your local short track guy to the guy winning on a Saturday or a Sunday or a Friday, depending on what series you're talking about. It's just, as Andy said, like you can't give up. You just got to keep grinding, or you got to have a rich parent. I mean, there's no in between, right?
Right
Yep.
now, I mean,
Yeah.
everyone's got a different pathway, and I was really lucky. I made a couple probably borderline. My whole career, like getting to ARCA, is like sitting at the roulette table and betting one number 5 times in a row and winning 5 times in a row. Like I just kept getting these lucky breaks as I started out into the ARCA series. But I mean, there's so many guys that, probably, like go win on a Saturday night like I can, that, aren't going to get those breaks for one reason or another. I mean, I took the plunge, and I think a lot of people got behind me just because they say, "Hey, look what this guy's gonna give it a shot." That's pretty cool. So, I'll give myself like maybe a little bit of credit for that. But like the reality is, like, I got really, really lucky like 100 times over. Like I met Andy Sice and he wanted help, and then I got introduced to Kevin and Kevin wanted help, and I just got all these lucky breaks as I kept going. But
It all
you
starts
gotta
from you
count your
though. Like,
blessings a little bit. But I mean,
yeah,
there's like
at the-
I'm gonna go to Lancaster Saturday night, and I could pick you out 10 drivers that could do this and go win at one of these things. I think could do just as good as me, you know. But it's kind of the reality of it, I guess.
yeah. I mean, the hardest thing, like you were talking to me when, like you texted me after the race at Lime Rock, and it meant a lot. Like, there's not a lot of people, even though they could. There's a lot of people even watching this tonight that could, but so many people have either told them, "Oh, you'll never make it," or "You're too old," or "You're too this," or "You're too that," or "You don't have enough money. What are you crazy?" Like, if they literally just took the dive or took the jump and did it, they would be very surprised how far they make it.
No, no, it's funny. The first ARCA car really was bought with pizza, my life savings. Like it's honest
I
to God a true story. I gave Ken Schrader $10 bills. Like
I
it was
believe.
everything.
Yeah.
So
I emptied
and
my
yeah,
401k for this car.
but like, when we did that deal and they told the story on Fox, which I'm sure Carl Fredrickson,
Oh, yeah.
good friends with Carl Edwards, obviously. And um when I took this plunge, he was one of the first people I called just because I didn't tell a lot of people about it because I knew everyone was gonna say, just like you said, like, don't do this. You're insane. This is the dumbest thing you could ever do. You can't do this. But I knew Carl wouldn't let me know. So I called Carl. He was one of the only people I told when I was on my way to Kenny's. And he was the one that really got behind, like, you have to tell this story to the Fox people and get the story on the air. And, he was a big reason that we got all this press. And that's where, a lot of the sponsorship that, we have now came from. And it's just, like I say, a guy like Carl, just,
Yeah.
1 in a million on the roulette table. This guy wanted to help me out, and just on and on from there. But You know, like I say, that's kind of the nature of it, I guess, with racing right now. It is such an expensive sport and just hard to get into, and a lot of people won't, take that plunge.
I'm just gonna hang out really close to Andy J for the next few months, hoping some of that shit rubs off on me.
Hey, he's got something. I'll say
I'm
I
getting a bandana for for walk-ins.
there you go.
Do
You
it.
gotta do it. Last thing I got, because Andy didn't make me feel bad about this because he's a good friend. So if you want to make me feel bad about this, you can. When I started working with KLAS, how did I phrase it? Did I say, have you ever heard of the Chili Bowl? Or did I say, is it bad that I don't know what the Chili Bowl is?
I don't know. I mean, it's tough. Like,
No, he's
I
from
know what the
Tulsa,
chili
or
bowl
he's from
is.
Tulsa.
Oh, all right.
I'm
Well,
in
that's
Oklahoma
And he
City. I'm
doesn't
in
know what it
Alpha.
is.
all right,
did
that's
not-
a
You
little
gotta,
rough.
you gotta qualify that. Like, it's
Yeah.
okay if you don't know what the Chili Bowl is if you live in,
Right, Maine.
New Mexico or something. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Even there, they probably know about it.
This for
Like-
real what happened. I saw an interview with a cup driver. It might have been Stenhouse or Larson,
Bell.
one of the two. And they
Yeah.
said I would give up
Oh,
like a big race win to win the Chili Bowl. And I
Yeah.
was like, what is it? So I Googled Chili Bowl and I'm like, oh, I've driven by this building.
you're like, that's 1.3 miles from my house. No
I'm like,
wonder
I'm
all the
getting out of
traffic's there in the wintertime.
I'm like, what is going on? So then I asked Andy, and he's very, very, again, good friend. So he was like, I mean, yeah, it's a big deal. He's like, trying to play it down, but I know I could tell a look at his eye where he's like, dude, you live an hour from this track. How do you, is it really that? I guess it's that big a deal. I had somebody ask me about the other day. They're like, you ever been to the Chili Bowl? I was like, well, from what I hear, getting tickets to that are harder than getting tickets to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. No, it's kind of funny. Like, I talk about the indoor stuff and all the drivers converging, in the Northeast, because it's the only thing going on in the middle of January, right? Well, that's dirt with the Chili Bowl, because you get, Sammy Swindell and all these guys, and McCready and all these guys, and they all go Larson and Christopher Bell. And it's this, it's bigger than what I do with the indoor stuff, but you get like 400 drivers trying to qualify for 26 spots for like a week. It's insanity.
It's badass.
It's all we talk about for a week, and it's only
Yep.
1 week out of the year, and it only happens once. But yeah, it holds its own little place in the racing world. That's for sure.
Well, Glenn, we have to get you back on because you're part of the family now. And
Perfect.
this is,
I got lots of cool stories, so don't you worry.
well, good, because sometimes Andy and I will text each other and I'll go, hey man, I really need you to get in a car here in the next few weeks. This content's gonna get thin. We can only trash Cletus McFarland so many episodes. I can only take so many bad comments from trashing Cletus McFarland. And we don't. Cletus,
We got plenty of cool people we can drag on. Like, it was pretty cool. Andy J and I were in the trailer not long ago, and he was saying, I forgot how we started talking about. I'm like, oh yeah, I started motocross, and he was like, oh, he's like, this trailer is Jeremy McGrath, and I was like, what? I was like, I am selling my house and buying this trailer. I'm just gonna live in it. Like, that he is my all-time hero forever, and I've never got to meet the guy. But yet, one town over is one of his buddies, John Dowd, that we ride snowmobiles together every single weekend in the like. So I'm like, I still have never met my hero, Jeremy, but I'm like, if he's out there and he wants to ride dirt bikes, like, I will fly to California, or I will fly you out here and I will buy a new snowmobile just so you can ride it.
We just wanna have him on. We want to know all the atrocities that took place in the lounge of our truck. That's all we want to know.
that episode will have to go behind a paywall with a
Yeah, we're not going to do that one live.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we are.
Before
You're telling me Kevin's gonna say no?
That's true.
problem is sometimes I have to go, I don't, so somebody will go, have y'all ever talked to this? I go, no, here's the problem though. Our race owner, he doesn't care. He doesn't have that thing in his head that he doesn't care. His episode that we did, I go, do you want to watch this through? Make sure nothing cut out. He goes, I don't care. I'm like, Kevin, will you please watch this? Because before I post it, I just want to make sure. He's like, I promise you, I don't care. Like, okay, man. Like,
we got to have Jeremy at least sign the wall in there.
there you go. Andy,
I'm gonna tag him in this
here. We got shout out Ranch Fuel. Andy's
I saw him drinking it.
It's good stuff.
I'm going to the shop. I've got I'm racing tomorrow. If you haven't, I've got to race like 4 times in the next 2 days, and I haven't scaled anything, so I'm in for a long night.
I'll I'll be at F1 Boston tomorrow, if that counts.
Oh, there you go.
It's not the go-kart track. That place is gone now, but apparently they have an F1 simulator in the North End or South Shore or
Hey,
something.
I was
don't
actually
know.
going to ask you, do you have an iRacing rig?
Yeah, dude. Let's do it.
I just plugged mine back in. I want to do some. So we're probably going to get a lounge going.
right.
We'll get that hooked up this week.
Yeah, hit me up.
I
We
will.
got talks to do off air about that because I got stuff on. All right, but yeah, shout out. What other sponsors do we need to thank, Andy? Because I know you guys are all going to be racing.
Well, Glenn, you got sponsors you wanted to plug in?
Yeah, huge. First of all, New Wave Home is actually it's my company, so I couldn't find sponsors because it's so damn hard, so I just started my own company. So if you guys are in Connecticut and Mass,
money.
yeah, if you're in Connecticut and Mass and you need a bathroom remodeled, give us a call. Check out newwavehome.com.
I love it.
And then I got a couple other people on board. So huge thanks to I actually met her last week at Dover, and she's now sponsoring a car for Watkins Glen this weekend. That's really cool. So she's never been. She just had open heart surgery. Jennifer is awesome. It's her and her husband. They own an electric company. So huge thanks to them. And then Bill called with your buddy Andy.
Bill Card?
Yeah, so he's coming. He wanted the back deck lid, and I guess we're doing something cool for it was one of the firefighters' sons
Okay.
that passed away, I believe.
Okay.
So a tribute to him too as well on that, which was I love doing those kind of tributes because it means so much to certain people, and it's so easy for us to do that, to throw something on a car to it means a lot more for those people. So huge thanks to all them, and just I can't thank KLAS enough for accepting me into the family, and Andy J for all the help he's given me has been phenomenal. So anything I can do to
vice
repay you
versa, for
guys, you
sure.
know it.
Yeah, vice versa. That's definitely helping me out having you on board too. So it's been a fun experience, and you're another racer, so I think we mesh well with that.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to get along with, like, two racers are hard to get along, but when they both are good people and actually care about the other person, then we have a team. Before that, you have two people butting heads. So glad
That's
to hear.
never happened in racing. What are you talking about, Glenn? That's never happened. Two teammates butting heads. What are you talking about?
It was in a movie I saw once. Sorry.
What's it called?
Oh, we got to reenact that now.
I got a rental car.
There we go. All right.
Andy J, throw us some good sponsors.
No, so we're gonna have Wheeling on board for our primary. Ted Marsh is gonna be joining us and the Wheeling guys, so we're excited to showcase them. We're gonna be running the traditional Ted Marsh Wheeling paint scheme. So that's always exciting to have them on board. Obviously, we're gonna have ranch fuel. It's a hometown race for Bill Card, as he mentioned. So he's gonna be there. We're gonna kind of highlight Automotive Consultants of Ithaca, selling new cars at wholesale prices. Just contact Bill, tell him Andy sent you. Obviously we got Yukon Creek and Florida Safety Systems, the OGs. We're also going to have Jim Bronson with his Ferrario car dealership. He's got a couple car dealerships in the area in Elmira. So we're going to be highlighting him as well, and he's going to be on the lower quarter panel, so we're super excited to have him. We're going to have his son Ryan Bronson is a musician. We're going to be highlighting him a little bit too. So we're definitely going to be busy. We're going to have a tribute for a friend, actually. Bill's nephew, Gordy Joe, came up with the idea, so we're going to have a tribute on the car too. So
that's the one I think I was talking about. That's
Yep. So we're doing the same deal. So pretty excited about that too. Means a lot as we're saying.
All right. Well, we will catch you next week on Racing with KLAS. Thank you so much for everybody that comments. If you haven't followed us here, we have a lot more people watch the episodes and follow. So, hey, do me a favor, subscribe. Makes my job easier. Makes Uncle Kevin happy, and all of us here. So thank you guys so much, and we will catch you next week.
Thanks, guys.